What's up everybody, Kinetic here, and welcome to my top 5 upcoming ARPGs like Diablo coming up in 2016 to 2017. These are also games that I will most definitely be covering in considerable, if not great detail, right here on my channel. So if you enjoy any of these games and want to see more from them, definitely subscribe to the channel so you catch future uploads of these games. Let's get started. First up, we've got Vikings, Wolves of Midgard, being developed by Games Farm and published by Calypso Media. Those names may sound familiar to you if you have played or have heard about Shadow's Heretic Kingdoms. Now, there was some weird legal dramas going on between the developer and the publisher that Games Farm was previously involved with for Shadow Heretic Kingdoms, but that seems to have been more or less ironed out, and they are continuing on with developing and releasing more content for that game, and at the same time they're also working on this new ARPG, Vikings Wolves of Midgard, which looks really interesting. And the thing that caught my attention was in the online co-op mode that they have promised for this game. Now, it's not exactly a unique or rare feature to have online co-op, but certainly there are different types of ARPGs that may or may not have a good online component. They may be more single player driven or more multiplayer driven, right? And this seems to be striking a really nice balance of the two, delivering a familiar theme with Norse mythology, which I think is always cool and likely in its own way. Beyond that, there's really not that many more details for Vikings Wolves of Midgard, but if you would like to know more about the game or any of these other ARPGs for that matter, definitely check the description of this video. I'll have links to all of these games, their Facebook page, their Steam page, whatever it is. Check it out. Vikings Wolves of Midgard is expected to release sometime early 2017. Next up, we have Wolcen Lords of Mayhem, and this is actually formerly known as Umbra. It gained quite a bit of popularity in a short time, it seems like, especially I think because of its fantastic looking graphics being powered by the Cry engine. Now, this is being developed by a very small studio based in France, which has also renamed itself to now Wolcen Studio. Currently, there is no release date set for Wolcen's release, but you can get early access to the alpha build. Keep in mind, of course, that the alpha build is a very small portion of what they have planned for this game. There is so much more coming down the pipeline. It's actually really impressive. The weapon crafting system, the home building, just all kinds of stuff. There are quite a lot of details available for Wolcen, and I highly recommend you definitely go check it out and see for yourself. Number 3, Mu Legend. This is a direct sequel to the fairly popular Korean online MMORPG known as Mu Online, and is set to release globally very soon. Currently, they're doing beta testing for the Korean version, and they have come out very recently and promised that there will be beta tests for an English version before the end of this year, and will also be available in many other languages for a worldwide release. Mu Legend, like its predecessor, is more intended to be an MMORPG experience rather than the classic Diablo-style ARPG experience, but definitely is striking a really good balance between the two. I recently covered the skill system here in Mu Legend, and it's actually quite deep. Sure, it is inspired by many of Diablo 3's features, for example the Paragon system and skill runes, but I really like that if they're at least going to draw inspiration from those ideas, that they also twist them in their own kind of unique way, and they definitely do. Combine this with all of the other features that we have seen and the huge amount of dungeons that you can explore in this game, I'm actually really hyped for the release of Mu Legend. As of the release of this video right now, there are currently no ways to get access yet to Mu Legend, but if you check out their Facebook page, which is sort of like their central hub for now for all Mu Legend info for the West, I'm sure that they will be announcing whatever their plans are for Mu Legend as far as release date and what their monetization plan is. We do know that the game is going to be free to play, so expect to see some kind of cash shop built into the game and possibly some kind of founder or supporter packs to help support the game. Number 2, Lineage Eternal. I think you guys know what number 1 is, but we're going to talk about number 2 before we get to the almighty number 1. Lineage Eternal, I think, people are seriously underestimating. A lot of that probably has to do with the fact that there is not as much known about Lineage Eternal as the other game that we're about to get into, but seriously, from the graphics, the smoothness of the animations, the dynamic dungeon system, and again, like New Legend before, it's intended to be more of an MMO ARPG type of experience, so lots of cool social interactions with you and your friends, taking on dungeons, taking on raids and things like that. This game has a really nice cinematic appeal to it that I find to be really attractive and sets a new bar for, I think, what future ARPGs, even if they're not MMO ARPGs, should definitely try to reach. Another advantage of Lineage Eternal compared to its competitors is that it's being developed not just for PC, but also for mobile devices, and has a really interesting drag action system where, for example, if you're using some kind of smart pad or whatever, rather than tapping buttons to attack, you can swipe your finger in different patterns to activate your character's skills. The game has been promised to be given to us as a simultaneous global release. I'm not entirely sure if they're actually going to still live up to that promise, but what we know right now, and it's very quiet right now, which is kind of scary, but we do know that they are going to start beta testing, possibly first for Korea only, and then later for the West, starting from November of this year, 2016, and I'm sure as soon as that begins, we will find out more about what Lineage Eternal is going to offer. And finally, number one, the top spot for most anticipated upcoming ARPG. You guys know what this is. Talking about Lost Ark. Lost Ark blew people's minds away when they came out with the trailer in late 2014. People that didn't even play games like Diablo, for example, saw the trailer because it spread like wildfire and definitely piqued their interest. There are several reasons for this, not limited to, for example, the amazing looking graphics, the character detail, animations, environments, the special effects from the skills and things like that really set a new bar of what graphically people should be expecting from an ARPG, and really gave a sense of this is the next level. This is next gen ARPG action right here, based in an MMO type of package, which some might say is the weakness of games like Diablo III and Path of Exile, is that they're not more open world feeling and feel more closed, more instance based than anything. Lost Ark and other games like it, for example New Legend and Lineage Eternal, definitely are breaking down the walls and letting people run around like crazy to meet random people or meet up with their buddies for dungeons and raids and all kinds of other really cool activities. And when it comes to activities, Lost Ark delivers so much, it's actually ridiculous and hard to believe that they're actually going to be able to get all of this stuff into one game. Again, the dungeons, the raids, we've got all kinds of side activities, crafting, gathering, mini games, there's a card game, there's a drinking game, there's exploration by boat, there's just all kinds of stuff going on in this game. It almost seems like it's too good to be true, and it's kind of funny that here we have the most anticipated ARPG coming up here, and it is more than likely going to be the last one that we actually get our hands on, if we get it at all. As much as I and everybody else really thinks that this game needs to come over to the West, unfortunately there are no official plans, there are no official announcements for Lost Ark to be brought from Korea over to countries like North America and Europe at this time. I would say that they would be fools not to bring this game over to the West, but then again, I've said that about other games as well in the past. For example, Kingdom Under Fire 2, Phantasy Star Online 2, and even Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. All were at some point expected or actually promised to us, but never actually came through in the end to bring those games over to the West. I really hope that's not the case. I really don't think that that's going to be the case either for Lost Ark. There's just far too many people that are daily putting pressure on them to bring this game over to the West, demand insists that it does get translated, and some might say that it's already in the works. There's data mining apparently of some folders that are being named or something like that in English. All I know is I'm not going to get my hopes up too high until they actually come forth and say that they are going to go ahead and release this game in the West. But if there's one game that could totally dominate all of these imitations and get its crown back and wear it proudly as the premier experience for ARPGs, would be Diablo IV. Now, of course, there's no announcement, there's really no even significant hints as to Diablo IV actually being a thing, but there is so much evidence, and I'm not even talking about the weird conspiracies that I have read on forums with people that are supposedly rumored, these really talented 3D artists that are supposedly rumored to be working on the game, the D4 conspiracy, the DICE conspiracy that was brought to attention by guys like Riker. There's some real hard, significant looking evidence, I think, that they are moving away from Diablo 3, that it is basically going into what has been coined as maintenance mode, right? You can see it. There's all these people that have left the project, even people that just straight up left Blizzard to go on to, do different things entirely from the Diablo 3 development. They are moving away from D3 and they are definitely going into something bigger and better, and I believe that that is going to be Diablo 4. Now, some people think that this is crazy, that it couldn't possibly be the case, because look at how long it took to go from Diablo 2 to Diablo 3. But me personally, I think that that was the exception to the development rule. I mean, you've got so many other games that come out with their franchise on a yearly basis, like Call of Duty games, Assassin's Creed games, and many others that don't take 10 years. Why would another Diablo game take that long? It shouldn't, and I really don't think that that is going to be the case. We can already see that they have publicly been hiring for an unnamed Diablo project for months now, and so with that in mind, and really I just think at the end of the day, why I'm so convinced that there's going to be an announcement fairly soon for Diablo 4 is because it's overdue. It's way overdue, actually. Last year I thought that there was going to be another expansion announced, but there wasn't, just leaving Diablo fans feeling really lonely and cold as far as like new content that is coming out for Diablo lovers. Now it's been a whole nother year. We've seen all these signs, and I believe, in my educated guess, that they are giving up on Diablo 3 and that they want to make a new and really fresh experience that is going to bring back their title as king of ARPGs to play. Diablo 4 is likely going to not be, I know that this is going to make some Diablo fans really sad, but Diablo 4 is likely not going to be a newer Diablo 2. Diablo 3 wasn't, right? That's what a lot of people expected Diablo 3 to be. It wasn't, and that's because Blizzard is a more progressive developer. They don't want to just keep bringing out the same thing that they've done before, and they want to they want to push the boundaries and bring new twists that people expect from a genre, whether it's an MMORPG, whether it's a CCG or a collectible card game like Hearthstone, or an RTS like StarCraft, or now we have Overwatch, right? All of these games are, they're the leaders practically, right? Within every one of those genres as being the most advanced and the premier experience for their genre. And that's exactly where Diablo 3 should be, and Blizzard knows it. They don't want to be second place to anybody, especially, I think, a game like Diablo and the ARPG genre. They want to be the king, and so they are going to take everything that they learned, all of the good and hard-learned lessons from Diablo Vanilla and Reaper of Souls that they learned along the way, and I think that they're going to make a seriously badass new ARPG that is likely kind of maybe along the same lines as what we're seeing Korean developers do. For example, Lost Ark, Lineage Eternal, and Mu Legends. Currently, Korea is leading the way in terms of more advanced and entertaining forms of ARPGs, especially since they're merging with MMOs in an MMOARPG style. I think that that's where Diablo 4 is going to go. I could rant about this for hours, but that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. That's what I've got to say about the top 5 known and speculated Diablo 4 ARPGs coming up in 2016 to 2017. Diablo 4, of course, probably won't come out, even if it is announced at this year's BlizzCon. Probably won't come out until spring or summer of 2018, but we can't possibly talk about games like Diablo without actually speculating about Diablo 4, can we? But hey, you guys tell me what you think about all of these ARPGs known and the potential for Diablo 4 to be announced and what you would like to maybe see from these games. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Click the like button to support these videos here on my channel. I've got more from all of these games coming up right here very soon. As soon as I can get my hands on them, you'll see videos for them. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.